Hey, real estate moguls. Today we're diving deep into the world of due diligence. Because of so many steps in this process, this is going to be a three-part video. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, a seasoned investor, or just curious about the process, join me as I unravel the essential steps to ensure a smart and informed real estate decision. Do not miss out on the key insights that can save you money, mitigate risk, and set you on the path to real estate success. So get ready to take lots of notes. Oh, can you please hit the like and subscribe button so that we can further use this information and other people can see it? So the first thing we're going to look at the due diligence checklist. So I am going to share my screen with you so that you can see all of the steps in this process. So as you can see, this due diligence checklist is pretty comprehensive. So the first step on here is the property inspection, title search and insurance, financial analysis, market analysis, environmental assessment, zoning and land use analysis, legal and regulatory compliance, lease and tenant analysis, and insurance coverage. So as you can see, there are a lot of steps in this due diligence process. So we are going to look at the first three today, and then we will look at the rest of them in other videos. So I'm going to stop sharing on this checklist. And as you're taking notes, you can take notes as we're going along. I'm going to stop sharing on this, but on the next part, you can actually, we'll be on that a little longer so you can take notes on the first three processes. So we are going to look at the first process, which is the property inspection. So during this due diligence process, this is what you're going to be doing first. After you have ratified the contract with the seller, which means that you and the seller have agreed upon certain conditions in purchasing this property. So with the property inspection, you're going to get the property inspection to assess the physical condition of the property. Your actions, you're going to hire a professional inspector to examine structural, electrical, plumbing, and other aspects. You're going to check for signs of damage, mold, or pest infestation. So in addition to the property inspection, you're also going to get what is called a C100, which is a termite inspection report. And you're going to, this inspection is going to verify the property's compliance with building codes. So after we look at these three steps, then we're going to look at why they are so important. Okay, so the next step in the process is the title search and insurance. And while the property inspection is getting taken care of, the closing attorney is going to be providing you with a title search and insurance. They're going to be performing the title search on the property. So this is to confirm ownership and uncover potential title issues. You want to make sure that you have a clear and clean title. So the actions is to conduct a title search to ensure clear ownership. So you want to make sure that the seller actually owns the property. And also you want to make sure that there aren't any liens or encumbrances or code violations on the property. Because once you purchase this property, if the title is not clean and free and clear, then you own those titles, the liens, the code violations, and any encumbrances that are owned are attached to this title. So it's very important that you get the title search. So you're going to obtain title insurance to protect against undiscovered liens or legal claims. So this title insurance, there is a buyer title insurance, and then there's a lender title insurance. Your buyer's title insurance is going to protect you against anyone who comes in later that says, I have an interest in this property, and so now you owe me money. No, this title insurance ensures that you will not have to deal with that. It will protect you against any other unclaimed interest in the property. And then there is a lender's title insurance, which protects the lender from any kind of risk mitigation that might come up or that was missed during the title search. And then the step 3 is financial analysis. So your objective is to evaluate the financial viability of the investment. You're looking to see what is your return on investment for this property if you purchase the property. So your actions is to review historical and current financial statements. You're going to analyze rental income and expense records. And then you're going to assess the property tax history. So you want to make sure that this property is going to perform in the way that you intended to perform. So you're going to make sure to check the rental markets in that area to make sure that you can charge the rents that you are going to need in order to have a positive cash flow. And also you want to make sure that the property taxes are not more than what you had intended on. So this financial analysis is going to determine what kind of return on investment you're going to get from this property. So these are the first 3 steps for the due diligence and vetting a property that you are acquiring in the best way. So the first step is property inspection. The second step is the title search and insurance. And then you're going to do the financial analysis. Now, with the property inspection, generally your realtor or your real estate agent will set this part up. So you don't have to really do anything to set that up. They will set that up for you. The title search, the closing attorney is going to do that for you. And your part is going to be the financial analysis to make sure this is something that you are going to get a great return on investment. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to stop sharing this and we are going to actually go to our whiteboards to find out, let me put this in presenting, why these 3 steps are important. And you want to make sure you get the what you have been promised for this property. And I'm going to make this bigger so that everyone can see it better. Okay, so why is the SFR property inspection important? So first, there are 6 reasons. First, informed decision making. So you want to make sure that you are going to get what the seller has promised you in this property. So with the property inspection, you have the right to either continue or you can get out of the contract if the inspection does not come back the way you intended. Like if there are some deal breakers on there, then you can walk away from this contract. You're not stuck. That's what this due diligence period is for. And usually the due diligence period is up to 10 days. So you have 10 days to get these things accomplished and to actually vet the property in the best way possible to make informed decisions. Okay, number 2, the property inspection is important because it can be a negotiation tool. Now, depending on what comes back in the property inspection, you can use that report to address repairs and have the sellers take care of those repairs or adjust the price. Sometimes some of the things in that inspection report you can take care of yourself, but you can also negotiate a price decrease for those things that need to be repaired. Okay, risk mitigation. So this property inspection is going to identify potential issues early on so that you don't risk having a lot of costly repairs in the future, because no one wants to purchase a property and then down the line you have a lot of repairs that you have to, especially expensive repairs that you have to do on the property. Safety is going to ensure the property meets safety standards, including electrical and fire safety. Compliance, you're going to verify that the property complies with building codes and regulations. And then it gives you a peace of mind, which helps both the seller and the buyer know that the condition of the property is what they had promised you and what you had agreed on in the contract. Okay, so that's why the SFR property inspections are important. Okay, next, why is the title search and insurance important? And we talked a little bit about this already. So you want to make sure that you have clear ownership. So we want to make sure that the ownership can be transferred quickly and during this process, and that no one else has an interest in this property. Risk mitigation is going to identify and address potential title issues before closing, reducing the risk of legal complications or financial loss, which means that somebody comes later and says, hey, I have an interest in this property, So now you need to pay me. So that protects you against all of that. Lender requirements. So the lender requires that you have title insurance to protect their investment. And then protection against fraud. It protects against fraudulent activities such as forged signatures and fraudulent claims of ownership. It gives you peace of mind again, because you know that this property has been thoroughly examined and insured against potential issues. And then it facilitates smooth transactions. So a clear title and title insurance streamlines the closing process, making the transfer of ownership smoother and more efficient. So it is very important that you get a title search. Like I said before, if there are any liens, encumbrances, or code violations on this property and you purchase it without a clean title, then those encumbrances, liens, and code violations become yours, and you have to deal with that. So it's very important that you get that step accomplished. Okay, so some key aspects, and I'm gonna make this a little bigger, of financial analysis. Well, if you have purchased this home for a buy and hold, which means that you're going to have tenants in there and you're going to be charging rent, the key aspects of financial analysis is the rental income. So you want to make sure that the rental income that you are wanting to charge for this property is comparable to the other rental properties in the area, so that you can determine if your rent rate is competitive or not, or if it's realistic. Operating expenses. You want to examine all operational costs associated with the property, including property taxes, like we said before, the insurance, the maintenance, utilities, and property management fees. You want to make sure that the rental income can cover all of these things, so that you can have a positive cash flow, rental cash flow, because whatever they're paying in the rent minus these operating expenses, that's what you are going to be able to put into your pocket. And if the rent is more than that, then you can have a positive cash flow. If the rent does not cover all of these things, then you're going to have a negative cash flow. And unless you are just holding on to this property for the equity or the appreciation in the property, we want to be in the positive cash flow lane. Okay, so cash flow. So you're going to calculate the net cash flow by subtracting expenses from income. Positive cash flow indicates profitability. So we want a return on our investment. We want this property to be profitable. The ROI is what we've been talking about. You want to assess the potential return on investment over time, factoring in both rental income and potential property appreciation. So you're going to want to make sure that this property is going up. The market value is going up and not down. So you're going to look at the rents in the area. You're going to look at the comparables as far as the houses that have sold in the recent, the last 6 months. So you want to make sure that the appreciation in the properties in this area are going up and not down. And that includes the rental income as well. And last but not least is financing costs. So if the property is financed, you're going to consider the mortgage interest rates and other financing related expenses. So that's also going to come out of the rental income. So not only are the operating expenses going to come out of there, but if you have to finance this property, the mortgage is going to have to come out of there too. So you want to make sure that you look at all aspects of this property financially to make sure that it is something that you can, do. Make sure it's something that's profitable for you and your company. So I'm going to close this whiteboard. Whew. So this was really an informative video. And again, I would like for you to click the like button if you got value from this video, and also subscribe, because I am going to be doing lots of videos on real estate investing strategies. And this is a place that you can come to get lots of value and interest. So I'm going to say bye from now, and I will see you in part 2 of this due diligence process. Goodbye.